never been in an NFL locker room, allow us to welcome you into one.
My man, you know. Hey, don't tell on me, though. You know what I mean?
Coach already seen you. That's 10K out the check.
Yeah, bro. You know what it is, the fine system. I ain't say nothing.
Why the freak the rookies didn't tell me I was in the bathroom?
I said, Acho here now, Coach, like that.
Hey, don't do me like that. Hold on. Let me kill the music. Let me kill the music. If you've never been in an NFL locker room, allow us to welcome you into one. It's my favorite segment on television, in large part because of these two. Now, here is the conversation today, y'all. Jalen Hurts, y'all know he struggled last year after going to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, where there's a quote that says Jalen Hurts needs to have a good year this year, or he's going to get that Carson Wentz treatment. They're going to Carson Wentz him. Now, remember, the Eagles, after Carson Wentz took them to the Super Bowl, helped take them to the Super Bowl with a great season. Obviously, they drafted Jalen Hurts roughly 2 years later. Jalen Hurts went to the Super Bowl a year ago. One more bad season, we'd be 2 years removed. Shady, you know Howie Roseman. I know Howie Roseman. I was texting with Howie Roseman, I think it was last week, general manager for the Eagles. You're the all-time leading rusher, though. Let's talk about it. Can Jalen Hurts get that Carson Wentz treatment with another bad season?
It's crazy because I was talking to Howie yesterday. We was texting. And knowing him, nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. I will say this. I think that Jalen Hurts, man, might get a pass, right? I think because last year, we've only seen Jalen Hurts get better and better every year.
Yeah.
Right? He's been in the league. But last year was different. And I think it's a lot of different things you could point to, you know, different coordinators. The coordinator left, right? And they had a whole other coordinator in there, and that has something to do with it. The play calling, new players, like all these different things did happen. The defense looked terrible. So it's one thing if our best player, most important player, had a bad year by itself.
Yeah.
No, everybody had a bad year, right? Defense was terrible. And that's one of the better points of our team, in particular to the Super Bowl. So I do think that Jalen will get a pass. But with Howie, bro, he's always trying to get better. He's always trying to get better. So I would say, if I had to guess, I would say no. I think Jalen will have some time, right? Maybe 2 or 3 more years. But you never know.
It's interesting, Jay, because in Philly, you don't get 2 or 3 more years.
Yeah.
I mean, remember, Mike Vick signed a $100 million deal in Philly. Then after about 3 years, they said, look, you need to take this 1-year, $7 million deal or you gone. Mike Vick was our starter. He struggled through 6 weeks. He pulled a hammy. Nick Foles came in.
And never got his job back.
Vick never got his job back.
I was 3rd in rushing, and they traded me that year.
Traded you.
3rd in rushing.
I'm a ship
Now,
captain.
obviously, different dude. Same organization, different dude. Remember, Nick Foles led us to 2 10-win seasons. We made the playoffs in one of them. 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, touchdown-interception ratio, threw 8 touchdowns versus the Raiders. His gloves, everything in the Hall of Fame. 2 years later, we replaced him, Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford had one little meddling season. Carson Wentz show up. Carson Wentz helps lead the Eagles with Nick Foles to the Super Bowl. 2 years later, they draft Jalen Hurts. Howie Roseman said he wants a quarterback factory. So, James, in Philly, it's not like Green Bay, big dog. Y'all had 3 quarterbacks in the last 30 years.
That was bullying y'all.
In Philly, they turn around now.
In the front office. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, they wouldn't have been bullying Philly like that.
They just was ballers like that, so it wasn't even no question. None of these questions.
Here's my question, though, James. You think it's possible that Jalen Hurts gets that Carson Wentz treatment, man?
No. I think Jalen Hurts went to Super Bowl.
Yes, sir, he did.
And as bad as we want to talk about the way he played last year, where'd he go? To the playoffs. He went to the playoffs. So I think he's safe. I think he's safe for the new regime that's going to come in here if they don't win this year. Because if they don't win this year, Nick Sirianni, you cool, but I think Nick Sirianni will be the first one out. We have given you 2 years to get this thing right. Get you some new offensive coordinators. Get you some defensive coordinators. What you need. All this type of stuff. We locked up 2 of the best receivers in the game. Oh, what else we do? We're going to go get you Saquon Barkley to go with your new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. So if you cannot deliver, Jalen Hurts has been to the Super Bowl and the playoffs the last 2 years. He is going to be fine, at least until this next coach gets in here and says, he might not be my guy. I think he's going to have some time. I think the person that's in trouble, if they do not succeed this year, is Nick Sirianni. I think he'll be the first one out the door.
I just don't believe that. Like, Nick Sirianni, out of all the coaches we could talk about, in his first couple of years, we haven't seen anybody have a better start.
Playoffs, Super Bowl playoffs.
Come on, man. Like, he ain't missing. So I hear what you're saying.
So you think Jalen Hurts will be gone before Nick Sirianni?
In Philadelphia, yeah. Yeah.
We get rid of the player. We move off players.
And my thing is like, if you showing that you not as good as we thought you were, are you showing that you not that Super Bowl quarterback we thought we had? No, you out of there.
So how about the money now, too, though? Because he did sign a lot
How we going to find him?
And think about what Howie
did with Wentz. How we flipped Wentz for a first-round pick.
Because he signed a deal with 2 years.
Yeah, he signed a 135.
Come on,
Wentz was
man.
the highest-paid quarterback in football. Jared Goff signed, Wentz signed 135. How we flipped Carson Wentz for a first-round pick.
And then,
My man just signed two.
But he signed that. That was cool. It's all relative to today.
This year.
He signed that money, and then look, he ain't played good. How we say, hey, can you bring your playbook? I need to talk to you.
Now, the difference, though, is 2-5 and James Jones is Jalen Hurts would have to play so bad, a level of bad we haven't seen before.
But
so this isn't, it's hard to even visualize.
Let's say he plays, hold on, will that be
Like
that bad?
he did last year.
Let's say he played like he did last year. That is not acceptable.
You're right. If he plays like he did last year, they draft him. Not drafting necessarily to replace, but they draft him just in case. But remember, y'all, that's what they did with Wentz. Eagles go to the Super Bowl in 17. In 18, I think it was 19, they go back to the playoffs. By 2020, they drafted Hurts in the second round.
Too, though. He battled with a lot of injuries.
No doubt about it.
Too,
but Hurts wasn't drafted to replace Wentz.
No.
Wentz just sucked that year.
And injuries.
And then it was like, oh, you know what, Wentz? You got to go. So if Hurts struggles this year, I think they'll draft a replacement. But no, they'll draft a guy. But the guy won't replace him unless Hurts is bad, which we ain't seen.
So that's
like
my
that.
thing. So Hurts struggles this year.
You
and
draft
the
him.
Philadelphia Eagles don't make the playoffs. You draft Jalen Hurts replacement and Nick Sirianni safe?
It depends how Jalen Hurts plays, right? Because if I'm a head coach and I go in the meeting room with the GM and the owner, and I'm saying, hey, man, y'all turn on the tape. I don't care who the coach is. Is he gonna fix this right here? Can he control that? You get what I'm saying? That's the argument. If everybody looks bad, then it's like, hold up, coach.
Yeah.
Y'all looking bad, right?
In the system, though, if you got Saquon in the running back, and you got Goddard, and you got AJ, and you got Devontae, you got Stoutland at the O-line coach, anchored by Lane Johnson and Mailata. If the Eagles don't make the playoffs, it's got to be the man who touches the ball.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
So, like, they will make the playoffs. They have to. The team is too talented. It's got to be the man who touches the ball. So I think Jalen going to be all right.
I think it should be. Yeah.
So y'all think this dude that they just signed a couple years ago for $230-something million, making $50 million a year, that you finna walk up in the building and the coach gonna say, turn the tape on?
See, this is the thing you're not hearing us.
I'm hearing.
It already happened before. So now it's at that number, but it was at one point in time where
But this
Carson
was a dude that battled with a lot of injuries and stuff, too, in Carson Wentz. So that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of stuff.
I mean,
like, this man is on the football field.
But at their best, who would you say is better? At their best.
Carson.
Wentz.
All right. So we've seen the highs of the highs, and then with the injuries and all that, the lows of the
That's what I'm
lows.
saying. If you're not available, we know how that goes.
True.
Jalen Hurts is going to be on the football field. He showed us that Jalen Hurts is a dog.
But
no matter what it is,
you know the real thing, though,
that don't matter if you. I mean, you can play. That's cool. We want you to play in the games, but if you're not, if you're not good, doesn't matter.
Here's the thing, though.
I just have seen the quarterbacks get more chances than the coaches.
Not in Philadelphia.
Not in Philly.
Because look, Doug Peterson was a hell of a coach.
Great coach.
I mean, he didn't get fired. It didn't work out, and he rolled. Yeah. But it was like, yo, we don't want you, Doug. That wasn't the case. Yeah, I ain't gonna get into it, you know what I mean? But you know, yeah.
And who was the quarterback?
Carson.
It was Wentz,
and then it was
Hurts that year.
And when was Wentz there? Or, I mean, was my man there when Coach left?
Who your man?
Peterson left. Who was the quarterback?
Then Hurts took over.
Yep.
But who started that year?
Wentz started in Peterson's last year. Mm-hmm. And then when Wentz and Hurts left at the same time.
Yeah.
They both left. Hurts come in.
Doug Peterson
and
Wentz both left.
Doug and Wentz both got about it.
Okay.
Same
Nick
year.
Foles wasn't there.
Nah, Foles been gone. Foles been gone. Foles, after they won the Super Bowl, went to Jacksonville. Think about that. You won a Super Bowl MVP, first Super Bowl in Eagles franchise history, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, appreciate you, dog.
Bring your playbook.
Yeah, but not bring your playbook.
No, they traded him at least. Either they traded him or he got signed.
Real quick, though, this is a Philadelphia thing, dog. This ain't no Green Bay. It's on that board over there. It's some real football.
Different. Yeah. It's different. We got the Big Bill? Nah.
Put that Meek Mills on.
Real football.
Because Aaron Rodgers,
Aaron Rodgers, this wouldn't be no conversation.
Appreciate y'all hanging in the locker room with us. We will do it again tomorrow. It's a unique space, family, and a unique place. It's just for speak. We got a team meeting here in about 5 minutes, but when we return, Brandon Ayuk, he's a Niner right now, but that could change tomorrow. Does that make sense?